YouTube? Tommy Shane Smith coming at you from Helsinki, Finland today, and this is lovely. This is literally this is perfect weather. This is as perfect as it gets. It's 10 degrees. It's actually like 50 degrees in whatever. Helsinki is a dream. I'm loving it. It's expensive. It's very expensive. So today I've actually got a pretty full agenda. It's not a work day. This is one of my fun days. A good friend of mine from back in Arizona is actually in Estonia this week, and so I hit him up and he's taking the ferry across the sea and we're gonna grab lunch. I think it's gonna be a pretty good day. But my friend's ferry isn't getting in until lunchtime, so I think I'm just gonna have a nice walkabout and enjoy my day off. So let's do it.
Cardamom oolong?
Yeah, thank you.
A really nice conversation with this guy over here. He was telling me I need to go to Brest in Belarus. Yes, that's the name of a city in Belarus. Brest. Okay, grow up. No, it's funny. It's funny. I'll give you that. I was just reading an article on thepointsguy.com, which is a great blog, especially if you're looking to like learn more about how to use your points. It's like a good like entry level, but it was an article all about how to deal with gas when you're flying, and they anonymously interviewed a flight attendant who said, oh, absolutely, if there's a passenger who is trouble, of course we crop dust them when we walk by. And I'm just like, are you for real? Like, if you piss off your flight attendant, they're gonna crop dust you on an airplane. Like, that's a conversation they have in the back. Kind of makes me want to be a flight attendant. It's so ridiculous. It always sucks when you realize you need to take a tram and the tram you were supposed to take just missed it. Not even sure where this one goes, but we're gonna take it. Okay. I don't really know where. I've ended up near the West Harbor, which is actually the neighborhood I'm gonna be spending a few days in later this week, because I found a super legitimate points redemption. So that's gonna be really actually kind of boring, because I'm just gonna be sitting and working in my hotel room because I've got a big project coming up I gotta finish. One of the things I love about Scandinavia especially is all the capital cities are built right on the water in the archipelagos, which is a fancy word to mean chain of islands. Look that one up. But yeah, so much just it's really rainy, and yeah. Honestly, people are too nice. Like, I actually set up the camera hoping that people would walk through the shot, and everybody walked around it. I actually just told that older guy just to walk through. So it's getting pretty nuts up in here, and spent the last hour just kind of farting around, taking artsy photos and getting drenched. So I need to dry off my stuff and charge my phone before go see Brenton. So I'm gonna pop into this kioski. It's like Finnish 7-Eleven. Got a snack. I got my Hadori. Hadori. It's just a hot dog. Norway, Sweden, Finland, like the hot dog is like the thing. Like in Iceland and Denmark, I basically live off of like $5 hot dogs, and it's like the cheapest thing you can find. So. Hey everybody, this is Brenton. Hey. Brenton was in Estonia just yesterday, and I was like, hey, I'm in Finland, you should come by. He's like, okay. I'm like, sweet. Nobody ever does that when I tell them. So
Hey Brenton, what are you working on?
Oh, just taking my selfie here. I guess my friends have named it the forehead pic.
The forehead pic?
Yes.
Okay, so Brenton does this thing on his trip so far. Do you think it's gonna stay a thing forever?
I don't know. We'll just have to see.
Okay, so he always takes his selfies, but he does them like this. So he always cuts off like right at his nose, and so all it is his eyes peeking out. So it's this thing right here. Can we?
Yeah.
That's it. Okay, so we need to make a forehead selfie. So give us a second.
And there's not much, I don't do it very professionally.
Brenton just came out with something. If you know Brenton, you might be shocked to see this, but what is the secret to the forehead selfie?
It's that it's just done in post. It's a normal selfie with the bottom cut off.
So he just crops it. My whole life is a lie.
It is. So I just came back from Moldova, and my friends in the Peace Corps there live in a town of maybe 5,000 people. They don't have paved roads, just mud. Everyone there makes their own wine when there's an American visiting. I guess maybe it's never happened before, but everyone wants you to try their wine. Everyone has a cellar underneath their house, just like, I don't know, you would see in movies. They bring out their wine in old, flimsy plastic water bottles like you would get in a 20-pack at Costco. And then they pour you a glass, and you're not supposed to sip it. You're supposed to chug the whole glass, and then you tell them that you like their wine, and then they pour you another one.
How many of them did you not like?
How many wines did I not like? They were all good.
That's good.
It was because it's unpreserved wine. It's just fresh wine. It was delicious, except, I mean, every time you down a whole glass, then they pour you a whole nother glass, and so you end up downing like a tremendous amount of wine, and then you have to try to walk through the mud streets back home. And
I've heard that in Eastern Europe, the trick to that, like culturally, if you want to be acceptable, is that you're supposed to leave a little bit in the bottom of your glass if you don't want them to fill it again. But did you feel like they would be offended if you left a little?
I'm not sure. Maybe I should have tried that.
How would you have known? I mean, how often are like people pouring you old, nasty water bottles of wine?
It was good wine though.
This is your first time in Finland?
Very first time.
And this is your like first trip out of the country even?
Yep, yeah.
Like how long have you been on this trip?
I think about a month now.
Okay, so you quit your job,
Yes.
Tell me what you're doing now with life.
So I'm just working for myself now.
Ka-ching.
Yeah, a lot of open source software development, and then pursuing some dreams I had, working on a board game and stuff, so.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you're like a good developer and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So
Software developer.
yeah, like everything that I can't even think about touching, he's brilliant at. So, side note, if you need somebody to develop some software for you, hit this guy up. Spent years working at Intel. Put his info down below. So I'm starving. There was nothing to eat on the ferry, so we're gonna check out Deliberi, which I walked past earlier, and it's like a giant market, but it's Scandinavian, so everything looks pretty. So let's check it out.
I gave myself 1 year basically to jack around. A lot of the things I've wanted to do for a long time, so I was like, well, I have money that I saved up, and I wasn't sure what I wanted to do with it. I was either gonna like remodel my house, or if I had someone to marry, then it would go toward a wedding or something.
Right, and not the problem.
Yeah. Yeah, just none of that stuff really seemed to make that much sense. I was like, hey, how about I give myself, just use that money toward living expenses for a couple years and see what I can do with if I spent time doing what I want to do instead of just what
paid the bills.
What paid the bills. And so I was like, okay, yeah. And so set up my budget and stuff like that so that I would have 1 year to not worry about making money, just to try all the things that I wanted to do and see how they go. And then after that, 1 year of focusing and pursuing whatever I decide on. And then if that doesn't seem to work out, then I'll go back to work for a big company again. Or probably not a big company, but a company again.
Dude, that's so rad though. I mean, now that you're in it, how do you feel about it?
So it's kind of difficult because I'm trying to do so many things, and then that's not what I intended for this first year too. It was to like try a bunch of different things that I wanted to do. When I remind myself that's what the goal was, then I'm doing a really good job. But it just stopped going from really productive to like not so productive.
It's super easy to like get discouraged, I feel like, when you're like freelancing or like whatever, because you just like feel like you're not making it, and you have to like look back on where you were a year ago and realize like, oh my gosh, my life is awesome. Like, why am I worried or complaining? Like, that's like always been my thing. So many people have things that they want to do, they dream about doing, and they just never do anything with it. They say, oh, I want to write a book, oh, I want to travel, I want to build a business, I want to make a board game or whatever, man. They just don't do anything with it. And then they grow up and they check the boxes, and then it's like, oh, like I got a house, got married, had kids, bought a couple RAV4s and whatever, and then you turn 50 and realize you didn't do anything you wanted in your life, and you cheat on your wife and you buy a Harley.
Yeah.
You know, like it's just it's so upsetting. But props for you for like doing it, man. That's huge.
I just realized with the resources I have and the skills I have, like all these things are possible, and I'm just like, oh, I have to do it then.
You left a great career at Intel to set out on your own and do the stuff that you dreamt of doing. That is an inspiration, and I can't wait to see what happens with whatever else you're doing. We all, deep down, have things that we want to do. My deepest desire is to see everyone actually do those things. I think too many people just live in that what if, and then they just one day realize that they never did anything they actually cared about.